Lynch. I teach high school in a special ed program here at UAB. And when my students heard that I had to make a video on measures of central tendency in my statistics class, they wanted to help, or maybe they just wanted to laugh at me. I don't know. But at any rate, they're all here with me, and I'm going to teach them about measures of central tendency. Okay, guys. Statistics. What's statistics about? Anybody have any ideas?
The record of something?
Numbers. It's just about taking big groups of numbers and trying to make sense out of them. Okay? We start with, if somebody shows you this big old jumbled up group of numbers, it doesn't make much sense, does it? You don't really have any knowledge about it. If I put them in order from least to greatest, and I put them in rows, you get a little bit more. At least you know what's the smallest and what's the biggest. Okay? And you have some idea of about how many there are, which was hard to tell with the jumble over there. Okay? But we still don't know much about the characteristics of this group. Okay? Let's start with some smaller groups and think about some ways that you can learn more about how a group is put together. Okay? I asked my class what their favorite college football teams were. And this is what we got. Okay? Now, the first thing that jumps out at you is what? Alabama. No accounting for taste or Eagle. But we got a bunch of Alabama fans here. We have a whole lot more Alabama votes than we do anything else. Okay? That means that Alabama, our 5 Alabama votes, are the mode. The mode is a measure of central tendency. Central means in the middle. Tendency just means what tends to be in the middle. What's kind of in the middle of our group. Okay? Well, in this one, it's going to be Alabama in the middle and on all the edges. Okay? And the others, we just got a few of these other votes. Okay? Now, does that make Alabama inherently better? No. This is just a bunch of categories. This is a bunch of words. Okay? And these were our votes. If we did this in the room down the hall, get a completely different configuration. Okay? But when this is what you've got, words instead of numbers, the mode is the only measure of central tendency that you can use. And what does it tell you? The mode is the most. Come on.
The most common number.
The most common number, or the most common word in this case. All right. Now, let's look at another group of numbers. Let's look at our grades, our literature grades. Okay? This is your grades. So when we try to put them together into a group, it's our class grade in literature. Okay? Well, let's see. We've got 0 to 100. And what's our mode? Somebody?
100.
100. And why?
Because the highest out of all.
Because we have 3 hundreds. That's the most of any number. So that's the mode. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Our mean, y'all know the way that I make your grades for your report cards. You add them all up, and then you divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 grades. And that's your average grade for your report card. Okay? If we add up y'all's average lit grades, okay, and divide by 9, then we get 73 and some. So we get about 74. Okay? That's the average grade, but statistics calls that the mean. The mean. Okay? And the mean is another measure of central tendency. Okay? We call it the average, they call it the mean. Okay? But wait, somebody says.
Median.
No, hang on, we're going to get to median. Somebody in the back there pointed out that our grades were mostly pretty good. We had Chester who slept, and somebody else who kind of slipped up some, and they're pulling our grade down on the average grade, right? We don't see any 74, too many. We got 175, and then we end up with a 74. Doesn't seem quite right, does it?
No.
That's because since the mean contains all the numbers, if you've got a couple of numbers that are really smaller than the rest, or really bigger than the rest, okay, those are called outliers. They lie outside of the main group, okay? It can really affect your mean. It brings our mean all the way down to 74, even though we got more hundreds than anything, and our next biggest group is 88, okay? So we got mostly good grades, but our mean comes all the way down to a C. It's not really quite right, is it?
No.
Plus, okay, we're not all doing the same work, are we? We got 9th graders, 10th graders, 11th graders, 12th graders, right?
No
Some
11th
folks-
graders.
No, we got one 11th grader.
That's,
Okay.
No, we don't have any.
Daryl. Anyway, some folks are behind, some folks are ahead. So, do these grades really represent exactly the same thing? They don't really, do they? So when your grades or the numbers here don't exactly represent the same thing, then that's another time that the mean may not be the best way to go. Your best way to go in those circumstances, or when you've got outliers like this 0 that's throwing everybody else off, okay, is the median. And the median means
Middle
very simply,
number.
exactly right, the middle number, okay? There's 4 over it and 4 under it. That's the middle number, okay? And that's the median, and that's our third measure of central tendency, okay?
Hey, sir, you forgot one.
What did I
Range.
Yeah, we're not talking about, you're right about that, but we're not talking about the range today. We're just talking about central tendency. And range is about the ends, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, we will talk about that, but not right today. Okay. What else? Well, when to use them. When to use just these three. Our mode, our mean, and our median.
You're averaging.
Remember that if it's just words, just categories, you can only use which one?
Mode.
The mode, okay? If it's numbers, whether it's grades or ages or heights or scales or whatever you're trying to measure, but it has numbers instead of just words like Alabama, Auburn, okay? Then you can use either the mean or the median, but you gotta pick the best one, okay? And there's a couple of things to take into consideration. The mean is really good because it contains all the numbers, right? Whereas the median just finds the middle one. But if you've got outliers, it can make the mean inaccurate. Or if the numbers don't all kind of stand for the same thing, the mean's not really quite okay. So, let's take a look at one more set of numbers, our behavioral level system, okay? This will kind of show those things. We have 2 people on level 1, 2 people on level 3, and a bunch of folks, 5 of them, on level 4, okay? So what's our mode? 4, because it's the most common number. What's our median?
4.
4, because it's the number
In the middle.
okay? And to figure the mean, what are we going to do?
Add them all.
Add them all
And
up.
divide by the number.
that they
Divide
have.
by 9, because that's how many people we have, and we're going to get 3. Now see, we've got 4 for the mode, 4 for the median. The mean is 3. Why is the mean lower than the median?
Because that's the average.
Well, because we've got these 2 lower ones, again, outliers, kind of pulling us down, okay? If we were to draw it, it would look kind of like this. 2 1s, no 2s, 2 3s, bunch of 4s, okay? If we graphed it, it would look sort of like that. And you see how it's kind of skewed that way? The most of them are right up here, but then it kind of tails off that way. When you've got a tail, either this way or that way, then the mean is not as accurate, okay? So in that case, we ought to pick the median, our median 4, as what represents our class behavioral level system the best, okay? Now let's review before y'all go do those problems I got for you to do. What's the mode?
Most common number.
Most common number. Somebody else speak up. What's the mean?
Average number.
The average number. What's the
Middle
median?
number.
Middle
The
number.
middle number. Excellent. All right. You guys did real well. Get your pencils. Come get your paper. Okay?
Seriously.